So we need him to own up and tell all the whole truth, because this money were not paid by Nigerian Stock Exchange. It's the investors. Because this is one aspect on the program that have been kindle trust among investors. Because in the past, shares of investors have been sold, or when you give order to buy and you put more deposit money, they will not buy at that time. Okay? But even went ahead to bought for you, the teller will alert to you when it was bought, okay, or when it was sold. It's not for you to go and question your broker. Look, I gave him more social time. Look at the time I'm giving a lot. That thing was bought, What happened? Because we don't want to get back the old orders where they perpetrate fraud against investors. And that's why when this program came, a lot of people opposed it, including stockbrokers. It was me and Sasoni Wosu who laid our credit and voices that this thing is good for investors. And at the end, today, everybody have enjoyed it. I was walking along the Custom Street. Somebody called me, Mr. Okeze, please. And one police officer who walked around within CBN, those security people there, he saw that we are buying this investment show. We are listening to you on the air. Please help us. They said they want to scrap trade alert. Please, this thing shouldn't happen because we investors have been protected. And I wonder, what SEC are doing? Because it's an important issue that the investors on every transaction, okay, either you buy or you sell, this money are being removed to pay the service provider. Mr. Keze, I'm coming, because I listened to him, he was talking about arbitration panel. What does it need to go arbitration panel? It is shareholder that will complain if the service provider is not rendering service to us. But if they have provided this service to shareholders, for goodness sake, why do we remit this money? Because those people are working in those companies are being paid. Why must we delay them? Because these are things, if it's an Indian or a Chinese man on this facility, would they delay their payment? Would they ask of scrapping that program? Because it's the Nigerian own seat. Why do we not appreciate our own? Because somebody who brought this platform to provide this service, and he have not defaulted, he have not failed, alerting the shareholders when their shares have been bought or when they have been sold, These are things we are talking about that sex will able jump up and promote it. Now you want to scuttle it because there's a move to scrap it, and that's what they're owing the man and coming for negotiation. What do you negotiate for? It's not negotiable. Because what you need that if investors at this point in time, the global media affected them and there's no volume of sale, you should approach the service provider. Let's negotiate. So we need to take coming down the price, because I'm coming, bringing down the price. Okay? This is what you need to do. Why do you go to court in the first place? Because the man go to court, you have not paid him. But if you say you are not paying him, why do you want to hold this money? Because the money is there. You can't say that the exchange is broken or CSS is broken because that service is rendered through CSS. And because there are people who got this money, for goodness sake, for transparency, for integrity, that will not go back the old order, where people should have been sold without be given mandate, they should pay the service provider because we're enjoying the service. Before we go, the service for us. Before we go on break, we're not complaining. Mr. Okay, before we go on break, we have Barrister Ike. So this is very interesting development. Not your reaction to the trade alert, but on the issue that Mr. Emmanuel Ikhazoboh reacted to, and we're getting some text messages right now from people, viewers around the world who are saying that what Mr. Ikhazoboh told us on telephone a few minutes ago was not true, that he actually took 3 vehicles from the stock exchange. These are viewers who are just sending this to us via text message. We can verify this, and we have one of another viewers saying that he actually took the Mercedes-Benz S-Class that we talked about on the program, but he returned it because he was asked to do so by the president of the president of the stock exchange, Balama Man, who was also brought in by the SEC. As far as the bonus was concerned, we also got information from text message that he actually took this bonus that we're talking about. Yes. So therefore, it looks like there are those who are aware that Mr. Ikhazoboh took this bonus, but he just told us on telephone now that on air, live to the world, that he never took this. Yes, he should move in and investigate. Barrister, what do you think should be done by this time? Mr. Ikhazoboh says no. There are those who know that he actually did took those actions. Yes, it's a matter of evidence, Mr. Boson. It's a simple, why we go to courts, why the court is there, why we lawyers are there, we are to advocate a particular position. There are 2 positions presently. I took and I didn't take. So you get your 2 positions and come to the court
and provide
evidence. There's an evidence, therefore, to prove. Someone should come up with evidence.
Yes.
That means Ikhazoboh took the bonus, or took the vehicle, or perhaps he even paid for it.
Yes, and if it is discovered that he actually did take, for goodness sake, he should be liable for it, both criminally and in civil. Yes, he should be liable. There should not be any sacred cow about this, without going into the substance and saying here that he did it. We are not saying that he did it, but we should not relent in going all the way, going all the hog.
Okay, we'll take a break. Yes. Gentlemen, the discussion is continuing. Now, when we come back, the final lap of the program is the corporate governance issue, but more important for the man who is now the head of the stock exchange, how should he handle this gamut of issues surrounding him?
Yes, he's a new man, and although he still has the executive power, in my view, I think he should stay above board. We'll
talk about after this time. We had about 10 minutes more on the program. You're watching Business Morning, the morning of Monday. The discussion is ongoing. We won't be able to sort everything out within the next 10 minutes. About 30 minutes to the top of 11. You're watching Business Morning. Boniface Okezie, an investor with us live in the studio for the special edition tenure analysis of Emmanuel Ikhazoboh and Barrister Ikechukwu Ikeji. Barrister, just when we were talking about, you were talking about, you had some comment about the trade alert, and you said you wouldn't want it scrapped. You think the securities anti-fraud system should be in place?
Yes, I think it should be in place. Transparency. We call for transparency in governance. We should also call for transparency in the private sector, especially where investors are concerned. We have a mandate, and that mandate is to protect the investor. In protecting the investor, we need to put all structures in place to ensure that the investor's confidence is not eroded. And part of that is transparency. When an investor's share is sold, he ought to be notified instantly, so that he can react appropriately.
Well, we're talking about a very interesting development here, and this discussion, as I said, is not over yet. We're getting more text messages for this very discussion. Mr. Okezie, could you please hold on a minute, because we need to get this out to our viewers around the world, at home and around the world. This is part of what the text messages is, and as I said, there are confirmation as to the bank account where Mr. Ikhazoboh's bonus was paid, and that of his former personal assistant, Ms. Tino Awe, who's now the company secretary of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And these text messages keep coming in from different sources that what he told us was not true. We need the world to hear that part. There are those who believe and who said they're in the know that Mr. Ikhazoboh actually took the official car we're talking about belonging to the stock exchange, and that he actually took a bonus last year while he was there for just 5 months in 2010. But let's talk about the man who is inheriting the burdens of the previous administrations of the stock exchange, especially the last 9 months in the face of Justice Mohammed Idris ruling. Ikhazoboh versus Oscar Onyema. So, Barrister Ike, let's get your view about this. You saying before the break that you think Oscar Onyema should rise above the current tussle and
yes. I think Onyema should look at his career. Onyema should see his being at the top